Jan Corns kicks wide. Shaun Burgoyne. Shaun Burgoyne. Tip has the next big thing at Port Adelaide. Starts it right, brings it back. That is a gem.
Number 8, Shaun Burgoyne.
Getting in each other's way. Here's Burgoyne. The Panther strikes.
Did you see that?
Here's Burgoyne. He's got some magical feet. The evasive footwork. The bounce. The streaming to the program goal.
Oh, Burgoyne, strong kicks, goals.
Brilliant. And Burgoyne goals. Wow.
Welcome back to Game Day. It's a bit of a family affair today. Shaun Burgoyne won a premiership with his brother. The Revolts are in, and your wife and kids are in. Welcome to you, Shaun.
No worries. Yeah, the kids are pumped to be in here. They're playing with that foosball table.
I understand, is it Kai that wants the foosball table?
Oh, they want it. They're over there now.
Well,
They've been good at the moment.
I'll speak to Mr Stokes, see if they can just take it with them. No problem. Now, tell me, it's a bit of a family week, isn't it, at a Hawthorn?
Yeah, it is. I think if you are under 15 and you go to hawthorn.com.au and register, you get a free ticket to the game this week. So it's family game.
Okay, so free ticket to the Hawthorn versus North Melbourne game on Sunday by registering at membership hawthornfc.com.au. So your kids have been a part of it. Life after footy, your brother Peter's doing different things, but you've also got a brother that is sort of a serious artist.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he does some Aboriginal dot paintings from Perth. So he does it through the True Blue Art Gallery. And I tweeted a photo the other day of a picture he gave me, and a lot of people wanted to know how to get some, and they wanted some. So yeah, he does it part-time as a hobby, and he's pretty good.
Righto. Well, it's Aaron. Well done yesterday too. A 42-point win over Fremantle at Launceston. It's the first of the 4 games the Hawks will be playing there. It was cool. It was overcast. The ground was like the fairways at Augusta. A seriously well-conditioned and well-put-together field. And in the end, the Hawks got home. 30 points quarter time, 30 points half-time, 42 at the close. Nick?
Yeah, it was a really dour struggle early, actually. I think both sides struggled to score in the initial stages of the game until this man, Cyril Rioli, really set the Hawks alight. He got the first 2 goals of the game. Just silky smooth on his left foot. And then it was Cyril to Buddy later on. Looked like he was going to get it back, but Buddy went himself. And there's no more exciting forward duo in the competition than these two. They are just electric. And it sort of sat around that 4-goal mark for the rest of the game, really. After quarter time, neither side was able to make much more of a dent. Chris Mayne here, I think, is one of the hardest working forwards in the game, and in the absence of Matthew Pavlich, probably just struggled because he didn't have that other foil. But as I said, Fremantle really, they sat in the game, they stayed within touch, but could never quite get the game back close. Jared Roughhead here, we saw him go forward. He kicked 4, Buddy kicked 4, and the Hawks really, they got Fremantle at a great time without Pavlich and McFarlane and Sandilands. The 3 things I learnt from the game: the Hawks clearly love playing in Tassie. They've made it a real fortress down there. Luke McFarlane is probably Freo's most important player. He really solidifies their defence. And Jared Roughhead, I mentioned him, he must stay up forward for Hawthorn to really contend again this year. We see with Max Bailey and David Hale in the ruck, they're able to perform really strongly in there. It allows Jared Roughhead to go forward. And I think in their premiership year, Shaun, he kicked 70 or 80 goals, and since then he's really been forced to pinch hit in a number of different areas, either in the ruck, behind the ball at times, but when he sits forward, he's a great weapon for you guys. Yeah, no, he is. He's spending more time up forward. It helps when we've got Max Bailey, who's playing good, consistent footy in the ruck as well, which allows him to stay up forward. And obviously, him and Lance and Hale up there provide some tall options with the crumbing as well, with Cyril and Barista as well.
It is an ominous sign because in 2008, that forward duo, they kicked almost 200 goals between them, Franklin and Roughhead.
It was 113 and 75.
Sort of like when you saw that 4 goals each, that's almost like a throwback to a few years ago. Yeah, it is. No, it's definitely positive when you've got the big guys up there clunking them. You know, you get in them quick as possible.
You acquired Brian Lake in the off-season. How important does that become now with Shaun Makers going down? We're not sure how serious the injury is. Maybe you can shed some light on that.
Yeah, well, he goes in for scans today because to find out the full extent of the injury, which is a bit unfortunate to him because he's been one of our better players in his first couple of weeks. So he goes out, and obviously having Brian there, who's a quality player, comes in and you know, he'll probably get his chance to have a game this week, and because he's been in Box Hill the last couple of weeks getting some fitness up after a calf injury over the pre-season, so I think he'd be raring to go.
You haven't heard anything on Ryan today?
No, not yet. He goes in for scans today because obviously you can't say anything until you get the scans done and find out the full extent of the injury. But fingers crossed, it's hopefully good. But yeah, we'll just wait to get them done.
And Shaun, one highlight, I suppose, of the game yesterday is Grant Birchall back in the old stomping ground down in Tassie, and with Matthew Suckling going down with a knee injury this year, he's become a vital cog. All-Australian last year. Deadly left footer. Mate, can you give us a bit of a synopsis of his game? Yeah, he was unbelievable yesterday. It's 37 or 8 possessions off half-back, a goal. It just keeps working, backing it up. He loves getting home to back down Tassie and playing in front of the family and friends, and he really turns it on when he gets back there. You know, obviously with Suckers going out, being one of our key players back down there, Birch obviously steps up in that role, and obviously having Guerrero out as well yesterday, the pressure back there for those smaller guys to rebound and really challenge Freo was on him, and he was one of our better players yesterday. What about your own form, mate? A bit more time in the midfield yesterday. They've been sort of throwing you all over the place the last few years. Where do you really want to settle down and play? I'm happy to get it up in the forward line and midfield at the moment, but you know, Clarko wants me to play forward, mid and back, and that's what I've done over the last couple of years, so I'm very happy in the midfield. But yesterday was Shuey going down, had to go back obviously and help with the backs down there until we restructured things. But yeah, just obviously we've got a few players who can play that, you know, that utility role. Obviously Hodgie does it very well, and Mitch has been playing back, mid and forward as well, so I think the more guys you have in your team who can do that type of role, the better it's going to be. Ryan Crowley, late in the game when Freo were just getting a roll on, missed one which is actually pretty difficult to miss from where he was. Crowley?
Now,
very hard.
I've got to say this one my pet hates. Kicking an oval ball that's like in mid-air is sort of like a random you're hoping, and every now and again, I mean, Elwyn Davies, wasn't it? Kick yesterday, one out of mid-air from about 20 metres out against you guys. Why don't you just grab it? Grab it and put it on your boot. I just ask myself the question why players will often just kick it from mid-air.
That's a soda, though.
Actually, I know, I appreciate where it should have gone through, but...
Unfortunately, I just think, I reckon he probably felt a little bit of heat coming from him. I think Gibson was coming in to tackle him, and if he takes hold of it, Gibson maybe takes him over the line, but in my eyes, that one there should be just easily popped through, unfortunately, and it's probably a crucial goal at a crucial time. Shaun, the lefties at Hawthorn. Yesterday there were 10 of the 22, last weekend 11 of the 22. Is it a recruiting... Someone's just gone down over here too. Is it a recruiting theory that lefties are more influential, or is it completely coincidence? I don't know. It's obviously the left footers were there before I got there, and there's obviously trying to play footy and train with them, and then you know you got to learn who kicks on left and right. Mitch obviously kicks just as good on his left as he does on his right. Yeah, I don't know if it's just coincidence or not, but it's definitely handy having him out there. As Fremantle, Shaun, they pushed you at times. I mean, you won by a good margin. Without their best big forward, Pavlich, and their best defender, McFarlane, they must have been pretty competitive. Yeah, they were. Obviously, we got the jump on them early, and it just seemed to stay that distance the entire game. I think we had a lapse in the second quarter where they came pretty hard, because they always were going to. They're a pretty defensive team, and they're defensive-minded, so we knew they were going to try to strangle us, and it really put the pressure back onto us to try and bust the game open and run and break the lines, because they're really strong in that department. So yeah, we were able to do that in the first probably 20 minutes of the game, and then hold that lead for the rest of the game, which was, you know, better for us.
This to put the Hawks in front with just a few seconds left in the elimination final. Lance Franklin, to the advantage of Franklin. Players running back now inside the 50, but Franklin's running it. He puts it inside the 50, then spears it hard. Advantage is paid. It's a one-man battle. Can he do it again? Man running back towards the goal square. He can't bounce it through. He kicks it through on the full.
Now he's got into the frame, and he's just a shake-off cross. Surely couldn't kick a goal from there. That is just astounding.
Here comes Bunny. Wheels around. Gathers the football.
He's a superstar. It's like asking you which is the best of the Victoria's Secret models, but do you have a favourite of those goals? Yeah, my favourite's the Carl Hooker goal, chasing him. You know, the first one he kicked along the ground was great, but then obviously the second one there's someone in the square, so he kicks it over him. I don't think Carl Hooker was happy you would have mentioned his name. No one ever forgets the chaser. He'll be remembered forever, Carl Hooker, as the chaser of the best goal of all time. Tell me, last weekend, 12 seconds end to end. Buddy was the finisher. Yeah. We were put it in the middle. Stratton played a role. It is 12 seconds from one to the other. Where were you? I was on the bench, clapping out this time. Obviously, the further out he is, the straighter he gets. Oh, it's unbelievable. It is so buddy to finish that. But look at that there. It's sort of Sally Pearson meets Tim Watson.
It's almost become the standard goal, the surge out of defence into a vacant forward line and players running onto the footy. I mean, Franklin did it better than anyone, but that's almost the most standard goal we see kicked.
Yeah. It's amazing that one of the best key forwards, probably of the maybe of all time, kicks all his best goals on the run.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Shaun, 20 years ago, Nicky Winmar was the catalyst for a change in Australia's psyche. He was really the one that instigated a nation to behave differently. Have you got any thoughts on what Nicky did and how the game is now compared to how it was?
Yeah, obviously there's a very powerful image. I think his Guernsey's in the museum, so it has great historic, significance. That Guernsey.
It's 20 years ago. Can you remember that? Sort of, you would have been what, 8, 9? I'm trying to think how old you are, Shaun. But can you remember it all? That instance?
Not really that incident. I can remember the Michael Long incident.
Yeah.
Which obviously was after that.
95.
Yeah, so I remember that one quite clearly. But they obviously helped trigger the events to bring in the racial vilification rule. I think it's Rule 30, which is obviously helps everyone in the league of every race and nation. So I think players coming into the game now obviously don't have to go through what those players went through, and that helps protect everyone, which is obviously great.
You're on the AFLPA Indigenous Advisory Board. What does that role mean? What sort of jobs do you do in that role?
Well, basically talking to all the players throughout the comp, because I think Indigenous players make up about 9% of the lists of the AFL clubs. Finding out what their problems are, how can we best help them, take back to the PA and make recommendations to them, and basically help them fit into their clubs. Because in the end, we're trying to help them fit into their clubs and play better footy for their teams. So hopefully they can have a longer career inside the game.
20 years has gone pretty quickly, hasn't it? Port Power, premiership player, Brendan Goddard, former Saint. After the win last night, very emotional. Do you remember playing against Port for the first time as a Hawk?
Yeah, I did. It was very emotional, very nerve-wracking. Obviously, growing up a Port Magpies person as well, playing against them. It was a quite challenging week, trying to leave my emotion out of the game and come in and get the job done. But in saying that, you've got to get out there and play and tackle and get a kick and win the game.
Was that the G which probably made it a bit easier for you too?
It did. So, but they never forget me when I get back there. I get a fair few boos.
Okay, Shaun, we've got some quick hands for you before we let you go. Is it true that you like all your teammates to call you the Silk of the Hawthorn football side as you walk around?
No, definitely not.
That's the nickname?
It was given to me. I think more to take the mickey.
Sully said self-titled.
No, definitely not self-titled.
You're a big sports fan. What's your favourite sport outside of footy to watch?
Probably rugby league. I'm a big Melbourne Storm fan, so I go as many games as I can.
And the boys go back to back?
I definitely think they can. They've got a good team. They're playing some good footy, so yeah, I like going to their games.
Now, Shaunie, we went on a small flight, mate, up to Ayers Rock, 8-seater on a little plane. How would you describe your fear of flying? Yes,
I do have a fear. You were pretending to be asleep. I don't think you were. The turbulence was that bad. I think Paddy Ryder was a bit more scared than me as well.
We think of both your ex-coaches as sort of angry ant coaches, Choco or Clarko. Who's the angrier when he's angry?
It's hard to say because they're both pretty angry men. Obviously, Clarko's punched a hole in the wall before. So, but Choco, he can get pretty angry at times. Jack, you may have seen that.
Yeah, he's sort of mellowed down a little bit. Brendan Lade, one of your ex-teammates, is now one of our midfield coaches, and they reckon that Choco's just gone into mellow Choco, and he swans around, he cruises around. None of the sprays that you've come to expect from him from when he was back in the power days.
Mellow Choco. Shaun, thanks for coming in. Hawks playing great football, and you are too.
Shaun Burgoyne, a part of the Hawks outfit that are 3-1.